Hi everybody, this is Lupasha Chella and this is Tumone Zambia magazine, volume 2 of my story.
Can you describe a moment when you felt fully immersed in your craft and what triggered that feeling?
Um, the moment that I can really think about right now um, has to be a stage moment. There was a performance we did for Trace Africa, and the preparation was very different from the performance because we thought we were going to give a specific type of performance and the crowd was going to be very receptive. But as we started, the crowd didn't quite understand what was going on. And in that moment, I felt like, okay, you know what, we lost the plot sometime back during rehearsal. But as we continued, then I realized it's not what you're doing, it's how you do it. So the type of performance we ended up giving, we didn't sway from rehearsal, from what we had practiced, what we had prepared. We just gave it as it was. And in that moment, I could feel the energy of the crowd shift. And at the end, it was different, and it was what I had expected initially. So yeah, that was the moment.
How do you balance the technical aspects of dance with the emotional expression?
Um, I do that by understanding the music, understanding why I'm dancing in that moment, um, understanding what exactly I want to bring out. So understanding the music is the different aspects that come with the music. That's there's stems in music. So there's vocals, there's the instrument, there's the drums, there's the hits, there's all those in music. So once you understand that there's all those elements in one song, it's easy for you to break down, okay, at this point I need to be technical, at this point I need to be emotional. And also just what you want to bring out. How do you want to bring it out? So yeah.
What role does intuition play in your creative process?
Um, it it's a guiding factor for me. It If I want to jump at a particular moment in a dance, my intuition will tell me to jump. And usually, because I understand the music, or I understand the song that I'm dancing to in that moment, I'll understand that okay, there's a count, and at this point, there's going to be a hit, or there's going to be a gap, there's going to be a downward movement in the beat, in the waveform. So at that moment, I'll feel like okay, yes, I need to jump, and I'll jump, or I need to make a hit, I need to make a move, I need to hit the 4 count like this. So it's a guiding principle for me. My acts as a guide for me in my moves. Yes.
How has dance helped you develop a sense of self awareness and self acceptance?
Um, Initially, my story. I think most of the people who know me know my story and how I started to dance. I started dancing when I was very young. I started dancing in 2011. Well, dancing out there, but I used to dance as a kid, but I started dancing in 2011. And how it happened was there was a crew from my church that I used to admire. So they used to take me on trips, like for events and stuff. And at that time, the soccer playhouse was the popping place. So this one time, I went with them, and I used to carry their bags, like I was their bag boy. So this one time, I went with them, and then the leader just said, "Hop on stage." So I was like, should I? But I ended up hopping on stage, and in that moment, it made me feel alive. I felt very happy, and every time I'll connect the two. Every time I'm doubting myself, or I experience a moment of doubt, there's this saying that I like. It's not even a saying; it's just an urban quote, but it just says you're allowed 2 minutes of sadness, then you have to keep it gangster. So rather than keep it gangster, what I do is I replace that with how I felt in that moment when I was younger, and it helps me understand that that's just a moment. You doubt yourself in just a moment, and you get over it. So that's what dance has helped me. It's helped me realize that you don't stay in a particular state for forever. Yeah.
Can you share a transformative experience that changed your perspective on dance or life?
This is a very recent, it was very recent actually. Like I said, I've been dancing for a very long time, but last year, 2024, we had a trip to Zimbabwe, and there's a saying about experience being the best teacher. When we went that side, we saw how my biggest drive is for cruise. Like I'm very passionate about cruise and everything. So we saw how it's very possible for a crew in Africa to go above and beyond in their performances. So that whole trip to Zimbabwe, just it showed me a different side of how things can be, and the fact that we actually went that side to perform, to conduct a workshop, just showed that there's more to the boundary that you're in. There's You might be restricted in your country, but don't let that be a restriction in your mind. You hop out of it, and there's many opportunities out there. So that's what that moment taught me.
How do you navigate self-doubt and criticism in the competitive dance industry?
Self-doubt. It's these days it's very hard. It's very hard for me to doubt myself in dance because a lot of old timers are not dancing anymore. They are doing their own thing and stuff. So self-doubt doesn't come up because as much, or I don't doubt myself as much because I know that I have a purpose to enrich a new generation that's coming up, dancers that are in my age group, dancers that I've seen grow. I believe I play a very big impact in their lives as well. So if I doubt myself, it's no good to them. It's no good to my purpose and what I believe I'm called to do. Yeah, and then self doubt and
Self-doubt and criticism.
criticism. Criticism is something that you can't run away from. In my space as a leader, it's always there from my teammates, from my fellow dancers, maybe from fans. It's not even just criticism on myself, it's criticism on the group, it's criticism on a post I made, it's criticism on a move I did. It's always like that. But overall, what you just have to realize is there will always be critics. How you let it get to you is what matters in the end. So I've chosen to take criticism, dissect it, think about it, and then get the parts that I believe are valuable to me, parts that I believe I can use to grow myself in dance. So
How do you tap into and convey emotions through your dance performances?
um, the moment. First of all, the moment. Understanding the moment, understanding I would say the moment. If it's a moment that requires high energy, then you tap into that high energy that you have or that little energy that you have and try and make it bigger. So I'd say the moment is what determines. The moment can be a moment in time, it can be the event, it can be a place. If the stage is big, you have to give big moves. If the stage is small, you have to, maybe your movements are restricted, you have to go with that. So I would say the moment is what determines a lot of how the emotions come up.
Can you describe a time when you felt vulnerable on stage and how did you manage those feelings?
Um, yes. There are a lot of times. It's very easy to be vulnerable on stage, especially when you forget the choreography or you miss a move or you do something slower than everyone else. In that moment, you feel like the music has shut off and the world is moving slow. But then you have to realize that, especially as a group, this is for all the groups out there, you're not seen as an individual, you're seen as a group, and the group is the individual. So if you mess up, if the arm is broken, someone will notice that the arm is broken. But then there are those moments where you might twist your finger or you might break your finger or whatever it is. Dislocate your finger, not break, dislocate your finger. And you snap it back and keep going. That's basically what it is, especially in a group setup. If one messes up, if you mess up, you just have to keep going. And that's what it's all about. Just keep going.